Hey everybody, Mike Miller, Herald Times, coming to you once again from Montreal. Um, the longer I stay in this city, the more I'm really enjoying it. This is always a city I thought I'd visit eventually. I always thought I'd come here for hockey. I may have mentioned that the last time. Um, but this is a really cool city. It's been a lot of fun just getting around. We've been using public transit, buses, trains, whatnot. Just so we've really been, exploring the city. Went down to I guess a neighborhood they call the Old Port on the day off on Saturday, and sort of walked around, did some exploring. It's just a really cool city. You were getting to the game today. We had to go under the St. Lawrence River to get to St. Lambert, which is on right outside Montreal. It's still in Quebec, but just about a it's about a 40-minute transit commute. Taking buses and trains and whatnot. And on the way, my colleague from the Indy Star, Zach Osterman, he found the much coveted Expos cap. I think I'm gonna have to pick one of those up myself before I get back. I'm kind of weighing the Expos hat or some sort of Quebec Nordiques paraphernalia, but we'll see. Anyway, as I mentioned, we went under the St. Lawrence River today to get up and catch the Hoosiers taking on University of Ottawa at Champlain St. Lambert College. This was actually a really fun game. Just the up and down tempo, just the pace of it. I mean, both teams were really pushing it. IU obviously lost 109-101 to a very talented Ottawa team. I mean, this was a team that was ranked number one going into the Canadian version of the postseason tournament last year. They lost in the title game to Carleton, which is a team we'll see tomorrow night in Ontario. Ottawa's really good. I think we heard they only lost maybe one of their key guys from last season, and they returned a couple. They had two guys. Two guys scored 27. Another went 7 of 8 for 3 for 21. It was a good team. The problem was IU let them be a little too good. Ottawa shot a ridiculous figure from three-point range. When I say this, right, if you're not sitting down, take a seat, because this was just crazy. Ottawa shot 60% from three. They hit 18 of 30 three-pointers. A few of those came late in the fourth quarter when this was still a game. I think it was tied 81-81 with about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, something like that. It was a close game pretty much the entire way. Obviously, Ottawa jumped out and I think had a 13-point advantage late in the first quarter. And then IU stormed back and outscored them to close the first half. Really what happened early was Ottawa took away the outside jumpers, forcing IU to really drive it inside, which they obviously have the personnel to do that. James Blackman, Stan Robinson, Troy Williams, that's what they did early. It's probably worth mentioning Troy Williams had another outstanding game today. Team high 27 points. Just did a little bit of everything. Once again, I mean, we saw it against Laval on Friday night. He's sort of, obviously doing the Troy Williams things, dunking, alley-oops. We saw that again today. But he's also shown off a little bit more of, a jumper. He's getting a little more comfortable taking that shot. Also moving well without the ball. He just, I think Osterman put it correctly either today or yesterday. We were talking. It just looks like he has a better feel for the game, and you can just sort of tell that from watching. Obviously, I didn't watch this team, very closely last year, but you can just tell that Troy Williams is a guy who's moving along the court with a better understanding of where to pick his spots, where to attack, where to be. And we've really been seeing that these first two games on the trip. Obviously, tomorrow's going to be the real test against Carleton. We heard that Carleton's missing. I think their starting point guard from last year, so they're a little bit of a new look team, but they're still, very well coached, very athletic, just well schooled team. That's sort of the scouting report we've heard so far. But back to today. Today was, as I mentioned, it was a really fun game to watch, but and the pace was really dictated by the 24-second clock. Really speeds things up. You can't make that second or third or fourth or fifth pass. You can't really work it around as quickly as teams might be doing in the fall and winter. But so the pace was really up tempo and fast, and it was tough to catch your breath. And with that, I think IU really probably struggled at the end. Really, having that second, third, or eighth wind, as Tom Crean put that after the game. It's really tough to play at that kind of pace and really have enough left in the tank at the end, and that's something IU is really going to have to work on if they want to continue playing at such a pace, come the regular season. Um, Besides the fatigue, and obviously the fatigue was a major factor in sort of the coming up short at the end, because this was a very close game with 5 minutes left, 81-81, and it just ran out of gas. Um, but this team is still learning how to play defense. It's a thing that's going to take time. They're not going to figure it out on this Canadian trip. It's going to take all of preseason practice and probably a portion of the season until they actually can figure it out. But the team's going to score. I mean, Troy Williams 27 points, James Blackman 20 points, Stan Robinson 16. Yogi Ferrell had an off day today. Just didn't really look like Yogi Ferrell. But there were enough guys stepping up, around the horn. Devin Davis had a pretty good game. Nick Zaislov hit a couple big shots. And again, Troy was just everywhere. Just this team is going to score in myriad ways this year. One guy hasn't, Yogi has an off day and Troy Williams steps up, or it's going to be Stan Robinson or Blackman or Johnson. Johnson didn't really have a great game, but there were enough guys, once again, enough guys around him to sort of pick up the pieces and score the ball. On the other end, the team's just really, you can tell they haven't really installed a lot of things defensively. If there's anything that they really want to, change up for this season, because at times they look kind of lost. And I mean, Crean acknowledged after the game that they were overhelping a lot, and that led to some of the open threes. But mainly, this team just really has to find a defensive identity, and that's going to take some time. It's going to be interesting to see how they rebound tomorrow. I imagine it's going to be a tough turnaround. Coming from a game like this and having to go and play, get back on the road for a 2-hour road trip and play a team like Carleton. But we'll see what happens. But once again, IU has to learn how to guard the three. They got to learn how to, find their men, not lose guys like Vikas Gill. Vikas Gill took 8 shot attempts today, all 8 from three-point range. He hit 7 of them. Can't let Vikas Gill hit 7 3-pointers. So a lot to work on, a lot to be excited about. We're 2 games into this trip and got 3 more left. Tomorrow is obviously the marquee game of the whole tour. So it'll be a lot of fun to watch and just sort of see what happens, against Carleton. Quick update: Mahana Mosquera-Perea is still not with the team. Tom Crean said that they have contingency plans, in place every single day for every stop they'll be on in this trip. For him to join the team, we'll see if that happens. Jeremiah April sat out another game today. Crean said after the game that just not ready to run the court. He was feeling better in the morning, just wasn't ready to actually get up to game speed. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, see if he's ready for Carleton. They could definitely use another big body in there, a big body, because they just really don't have that right now. I mean, Troy Williams is not the answer. Troy Williams is doing a lot of great things for this team right now, but they need him in other ways. They need a big guy. And one of them is not here. The other can't play. And that's a problem. But we'll see what happens down the road. I'm going to cut this a little short. I had a little bit of a problem posting the last one. It went a little long. But we'll check in tomorrow after Carleton. Once again, should be a really good game. Hope you guys will follow along. I'll be on Twitter all day, live tweeting the game and putting stuff up on the scoop later on. So thanks again for tuning in. Catch up with you guys later. See ya.